Hello and welcome to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Rachel.
I'm Michelle. Welcome back. As always, thanks for listening in. Let's go over book news first then.
Okay, so today is International Child's Book Day.
What? Mouthful.
Yes.
So we thought we'd discuss a couple of our favorite books as children. First, getting into reading. Don't judge us for first of all. Well, you have a lot more to present than me. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, I've always been a horror kid, but Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark was one of my favorites, and it's creepy, and it's illustrated. So,
Oh, I didn't realize it was illustrated. That's pretty cool. Awesome.
and then Goosebumps, obviously, Goosebumps.
You have to have, Goosebumps is Go's thing.
And Anne of Green Gables. I love Anne of Green Gables. It's like my favorite children's classic.
Actually, I've never read it, so sorry.
It's so cute.
Okay. All right, and then I think you have one more.
And then
Can't forget this one.
Princess and the Goblin, which is
Such a great
fantasy
movie, by the way.
and good movie.
Sorry, it's a great movie. I love that movie. I actually thought it was the princess and, gosh, I can't remember. I thought it was the Princess's Bride, maybe?
Possibly.
That's what I was thinking. I was
That's-
like, I saw this, I'm like, oh yeah, duh, that's a great one. But I'm like, I didn't think it was a kid's one. So, cool.
The Princess Bride is floating somewhere on these shelves. It's illustrated.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So I'm gonna go with the two ones that I don't have. I didn't actually have them in my collections. So I actually grew up on the Berenstein's Bears.
Me too.
Or
I had
Berenstein's, whatever conspiracy theory we got going on there. Those. And then I actually really liked Caps for Sale. It's a tale of a peddler and monkeys and monkey business, which is pretty funny. I loved reading that as a kid. Of course, I like the little really cool hats. The golf hats is the best description I got. Love them. Okay. So I've read just about every Garfield comic book there is.
because we grew up in India. We have to.
Yes, but this is actually what sparked my interest in reading, period. I struggled as a child with reading and comprehension, so I found, obviously, comics that turned into manga. I mean, that's kind of how it was. And then this is my favorite all-time book. This is dating me a little bit. It's called My Book About Me by Dr. Seuss. And where you basically put in there, and like, it was funny, you guys flipping through this, and I'm like, oh yeah, look how atrocious we was. I'm like, pop pizza. Anyways, I did this as a child. Of course, I didn't put my picture in front of it, but yes, I filled this out, and that was probably like really, really fun.
Yeah.
So that's just a couple of our favorite, all-time favorite child's books.
Yeah.
So happy
Child Book Day.
Yeah.
Children's Book Day.
Yeah, there we go. That's a better. Well, I was like, I don't know how to say this without getting canceled. So we'll go into our book for the day
And that is Under the Oak Tree.
by
It's up here.
Suji Kim. It's the best pronounced we got here. I don't know about you, but fantasy books are really hard for me, and there's so much I can't pronounce. So sorry in advance. That's just number one. I'm like, when people start like pushing. Anyways, of course, this is translationed from Korean. It's Korean web-based or webtoon comic that turned into a novel that turned into a comic. So we read the novel version of it.
Volume 1.
Volume 1, which actually, I think has on the back, it's like 1 through 76 chapters.
Yeah.
So kind of like with manga, you know, they're well, books too, I guess. They have chapters. Just more, I feel like those are just a little bit shorter in comics and stuff, but
Yeah, because these had really long chapters.
yes, yeah. So it was, and it's definitely not like that. I guess when I was reading it as like a webtoon, I'm like, yeah, this doesn't feel long. And I'm like, all right, 78 chapters, that's good, I'm good.
Well, if it's like 78 chapters that are like small and there you can digest them in like 10 minutes. You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
okay, whatever.
Yeah.
An hour-long chapter, I'm like, dang it, man.
I know, there were small breaks in between, and that's when I was like, okay, I gotta take a break. Because this was, 400 and some pages long?
Yes.
Yeah. So, where do you want to start?
So let's start with characters, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, there isn't...
I didn't feel like there was a ton of characters. I mean, there's a lot of, like, I guess throwaway characters would be the best.
I think there's like 3 main characters.
Yes,
And
3.
what I got from this.
Yes. 3 main characters, and then, of course, you got, they live in a castle, so, of course, there's, like, servants, and then there's knights, and those aren't important yet. So, the main character is Maximilian Calypsis?
Yeah.
Okay, so she goes by Maxie. Thank God, because that's a mouthful here. Yeah, she's the main character. She's 22 when the book opens. She's 22. Some things happen, and I wouldn't consider it a time skip because the book's already 3 years in the present.
Well, yeah. You get... The first chapter is basically kind of like recap, but it's like flashback.
Yes. Yeah, okay. So, she would have been 18 at that time then.
Yeah.
Okay. And then our other main character is...
Riften.
Thank you. I was like, I had it. Calypso. He's 28, so he would have been 25 at the time. And he's also the Lord of Anatote?
Yeah.
Okay. He's a lord of...
He's a lord of a kingdom. Whatever.
Yes.
A plot of land.
Yes. And it's kind of like a peninsula from the understanding. And also there is a map in the beginning of the book. So that's...
Is there a map in the beginning of the book?
Yes, there is. Did you skip
Did I
it like
skip it?
usual?
Yeah. Sure did.
Okay, guys, here's the just a heads up.
It's not important. They're in basically the same place the whole book.
I mean, that's true. So, I think what other character did you think? Ruth?
Yeah.
Okay, so Ruth Cerebral, he is a wizard, and he is shunned wizard that's looked down upon.
Yeah.
So,
like he trained in the wizard tower.
Yes, he trained in the World Tower of Wizards.
Wizard tower.
I knew close enough. Okay, I'll give it to you.
I knew it was a tower. I knew there was wizards. Wizard tower.
So you have to actually study there to become an official wizard. I don't know. I didn't really understand that part. But he decided to leave because he didn't like the strict rules they have on wizardry. I like that word. I just made that up. Yeah, he said there's too much strict rules regarding how to use magic, which I don't really see, but I assume it's coming later.
Possibly. I don't know. This was very fantasy light.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah. It was more romance than anything else. Which I guess I didn't realize because when I first read it, like, a couple years ago as a webtoon, like, I don't know. Like, yes, romance was a main part, but I could see the castle, I could see the knights. So I guess that's a little different.
Yeah. It's like
it didn't
romance in a fantasy setting, but it's mainly romance.
Yes. So, sorry, this is a bad fantasy fic. But if you really like romance, or you like fantasy-esque romance, it's really good. Or at least, I should wait. We're not there yet. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So those are the 3 main characters. Maxie, Riften, and Ruth. There's some other characters, like I said, mostly just knights that protect the kingdom, and then servants and stuff. They talk about other characters, but they don't introduce them back into the book, so.
And then her father, which is at the very beginning, but he's...
A douche.
Yes. To say the least.
His name is
Lord Calypso. Calypsis.
Calypso. I don't know. Yes, we're gonna call him Duke C for ease. Yes, he's Maxie's sperm donor. That's exactly how I wrote it. Yeah, you find out through bits of backstory that he's very abusive to the main character.
Yeah. He doesn't favor her. He favors his other daughter.
Yes, the younger daughter, which
doesn't have a stutter, and I don't know what her name is. It starts with an R.
Yeah, it's Rosetta. That's what I'm going with. Yes, so Maxie is the oldest daughter of Duke C. Yeah. He did not have any men, which, you know, in this time period with castles and land, it's really important for a male heir, which he did not get.
No.
And so that's kind of his hatred towards her, and just because she has a really bad stutter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, in that time period, it's looked down upon, she's half-wit, you know, all the typical stereotypes of
having a stutter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of having anything remotely wrong with you.
Yes, yeah. So it kind of opens up with 3 years prior. Duke C decided to marry her off because she was worthless otherwise, basically. His words, not mine. So he married, or the marriage to Riften, and so basically it's a subplot because Duke C had been called on to help the land with his troops and stuff. Well, he kind of pawned it off onto Riften because guess what? Now he's in the family.
Yeah.
And so they consummate the marriage, which is a fancy way of saying, you know,
he basically raped her in the first chapter.
Yes. But she knew it was her, I don't want to say duty, but
yeah. So this is one of my issues.
Okay, let's go with it.
In the first chapter, they consummate the marriage, which I get medieval times.
Yeah, because of course they have to check the virgin blood and all that stupid shit.
I get that. But like after they consummate the marriage, he just bounces. He just leaves.
Yeah, because he had to go save the kingdom in Duke C's place.
So I was like, okay, so this isn't even, like, they don't know each other.
Yes, it's an arranged marriage.
And he's just leaving. Gone. Bye.
Yeah.
And then he shows up in chapter 2.
3 years later.
3 years later. And then he's, like, all over her. Like, the instant he gets back. They don't know each other. He basically raped her when they got married.
Okay, yeah, he's a sex fiend, okay?
And I'm like, okay, this is not consensual. And I know I've read some books where the romance is not consensual. Mm-hmm. But I need, like, something. I need something to redeem it. Like, I do not like...
So you don't like the main character?
I don't like Riften. I like Maxie and I like Ruth.
Okay, so yeah. Okay, yeah. So Riften is a very, I wouldn't say unique character, but is a very strong character type. So he's the man, the macho, very, like, I need to protect everyone, very fucking strong, like, super fucking strong.
Yeah. He also gets mad at everything.
Yeah. He's so jealous, which is so funny. Like, it's not funny. It's funny how their relationship is so, if they just fucking talk to each other.
Again, second issue. If he would, one, let her talk, because he doesn't at all. He gets mad and then he leaves. He books it out of there. He's gone all the time. Or he gets mad, he takes her away, they do it, and then there's no resolution. Like,
you're not wrong, okay? You're not wrong. But you're wrong.
Like, in the second chapter, he's all over.
Yeah.
Then he gets mad at his guard because they interrupted him. And then he's mad at her because she didn't go to his castle 3 years ago.
Yes.
And she didn't know anything about leaving for his castle.
Yes. So it's true, but I think a lot of it had to do with her dad. because her dad made her, you know, once he figured out that he wasn't really getting anything from Maxie, he was like, well, fuck your education, bitch. Like, you don't need to learn anymore. And, like, that was his whole point. Like, well, if you can't provide for me in another way, you're gonna be well taught and try to, you know, learn whatever you can.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he found out that was not gonna work, he was like, okay, well, you stay in here, you don't fucking talk to anyone, and you're the redhead stepchild, literally. Because she has been here, by the way. Yeah. So I think, like, she had never stepped outside of his castle.
Yeah.
And, like, so...
Well, from my understanding of it is that he kind of, like... Riften said that he wanted her to go to the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And probably to him. And then he's like, no. Like, he told the guards that she wasn't leaving. The Duke, not the...
Oh, yeah.
Not Riften.
Yeah. The Duke kind of intercepted all of, like... because Riften sent knights of his kingdom to go collect her. Obviously, you know, they're married. She has household duties to perform, like keep, you know, whatever women did back then. keep the castle correct, I guess. Make sure the servants have everything they need, yada yada. And so, I mean, she literally, I don't really know when he stopped education, but that would be...
But she's educated. Like, she knows math.
Yeah.
And she knows, like reading and ancient languages. She just doesn't know the currency, for one, because she's never had to deal with money.
Yeah, she's never had to deal with money, and then she's never really had to deal with...
Like, outside
interacting with people, period. Because he always kept her hidden away, because he didn't want her to speak. Which... I'm so glad I didn't have to, like, listen to it, to be honest with you. I'm like, reading it, fine, not that problem. You put as many letters as you need to in there. But, like, hearing it, it'd be kind of annoying after a while. But reading it is completely different. I don't think I would like to, sorry, your dog. He's like, lick. I'm like, oh, hi.
He has no personal space.
I got that. Now I lost my train of thought. You butt muncher. Anyways. So there's just a lot of stuff, like, common, I guess it's a great example. She's book smart, but not common knowledge smart.
Yeah.
That would be my best way to put it. So, after 3 years, he defeats, I forget, it was
something about the dragons.
Yeah, red dragon. Something another, I wrote it down.
Or they're the white dragons, I don't know. There's something about dragons.
He killed the red dragon, Sector. He bad guy, I guess. So that kind of boosted Riften's kind of popularity since...
And his money.
Yeah, he got a lot of money. So it came back for her, and he was like, come on, we're leaving. And she's like, what? What do you mean? Like,
yeah.
And he's like, she's kind of freaking out, Maxie is, because her father's like, not gonna allow it.
Also, she thought that he was gonna divorce her.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense, because she understood what her father did, what married her off to have him go to war instead of his knights, I guess.
Yeah. And then there was a proposal from the princess. The king proposed that he marry the princess.
After his popularity shot up, because he was kind of like a no-name knight in the beginning, and then he obviously went on this 3-year-long battle to kill this dragon, and with the help of Princess Agnes, which is also a sorcerer. They make that distinction. She's not a witch. It's a sorcerer, okay? I don't know why, but I thought that was kind of funny. But, yeah, and so she kind of had some self-doubt. Like, oh, he's not gonna want me when he comes home. And so she's thinking, oh, shit, like, he's gonna divorce me. And, you know, divorce is worse than death, apparently. Like, you get, like, completely abandoned, which, I guess...
I mean, she's kind of
the Duke already give a shit, yeah.
Abandoned.
But, you know, being divorced is, like, a big no-no. In that time. I think for both sex, but I'm not 100% sure. Because I think if you're a man and you're like, I want a divorce, and you got money, and they're like, of course! But, you know, women are like, nah. Yeah. There's something wrong with you.
Leprosy.
Yeah. She doesn't have that. No, but that's kind of how it feels. gets her, and then it's on like this really long trip to his kingdom, which is, I don't know, I would say what, 5 or 6 days?
Yeah.
They're on the road. And I like Riften. I think he's more of like the silent protector, and then he's just jealous that she's giving attention to other people.
My problem is they did not communicate.
He is
all over her. They don't know each other. He's been gone for 3 years.
Yes.
Like, I need you to talk to each other.
Yes, I agree that. I wish, I missed that part. Like, I wish there was a little bit more interaction. I wish they just fucking talked to each other. Like, this is the miscommunication.
Like, she's got a stutter, I get it, but damn. Like, I need y'all to talk.
Yes.
I need him to shut up for once and stop being mad and let her talk and explain herself.
Well, I mean, she has a lot of self-doubt, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. It's just, it's so funny how differently we think about this. It's just, sorry. Yes, I can see that. I don't know. I just felt like it, like, as the book went on, I could see more of the connection, the intimacy.
Yes.
Not just, like, she was getting more into it, because obviously the first time, sex, it's not really pleasurable. I mean, if it was, great for you, but I mean, it's like, it just is what it is.
See, like, I can get past that. My thing is like, if you don't know her, why are you all over her? And, like, she's clearly uncomfortable with, like, public affection.
She's very shy, in general.
Clearly.
Yes.
Like, you can do whatever the hell you want in your bedroom, as long as you're consenting adults. But if your partner is clearly uncomfortable with something, maybe you shouldn't do it.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
That was my issue. Like, obviously, she's down after a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, I think after the first time, she was just like, or at least after the second time, because she only had the sex the one time, and then he went, and then, like, he's, like, really, like, oh my god, I love you, like, he's so horny, because, he's not had sex ever, I guess, that, I mean, that's kind of how I feel, like, how he is character-wise, like, he wanted to wait for his married partner.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm thinking in my head, that he's just, like, he waited till he was married, okay, like you're supposed to do, in that time period.
I just wish there was a little bit more consent, and, like, a little bit more care into
developing the actual relationship.
Yes.
I get that. I understand that. I still like it. I'm still a fan, okay? And it could be because I read it as a webtoon, so I feel like I got a little bit more background.
And
but
that might also be an issue, is, like, this format doesn't allow for the characters to live, I guess. I don't know how else to explain that.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I understand that. And that's why I was kind of really wanting to read the novel version of it, because it's like, I saw, like, kind of the background of, like, Maxie being, like, super shy, and she was abused, even though you can't tell, because there's magic, obviously, a fantasy novel, there's magic, and her dad, like, beat her until, like, he wanted to beat the stutter out of her. Obviously, that didn't work. So he healed her a lot by wizards and stuff. And so you don't see any of the previous wounds.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted, more of that backstory. And it does talk about it a little bit. And I wanted more of her feelings. And I feel like I got a little bit more of, like, who she was. But in the webtoon, it did more of her thoughts as well. I want more of, like, what is Riften thinking? What is he, like, I wanted more of that, which I did not get in this, which I was really kind of upset about.
So in the webtoon, do you get Riften's, like, POV kind of?
No. It's just her, and you hear some of her thoughts. I was wanting to know more, like, that's the main reason I wanted to read it, is I wanted to get more into the characters, because there's only so much you can do when it's just cartoons.
Yeah, or it's just mainly dialogue.
Yeah. which they're, and some of the scenes were not a lot of dialogue. Anyways, so I don't really feel like a lot actually happened. Like, it was more of just them navigating.
So there was the ogre attack, and that
Yeah.
was just about it. And I was like, okay, there was also a sex scene in every single chapter. Just so you know, that's what you're getting into.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't keep track of it. But that tracks. That tracks.
So if you want a spicy book, this might be it.
Yeah, it was
I mean, there's
it's more
better spice out there than this.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything else about that anyways. So after that, so they get attacked by ogres on the way to his castle.
And she faints.
And, which makes sense because she's not seen the world. So they finally make it to his castle, and then he actually has to leave.
And he gets mad because the castle is not refurbished. You forgot about that one.
Oh, my bad. Okay. When they get to the castle, Rifton's pissed off because, the castle is such disarray, and he's like, I didn't want you to come home to this. But
somehow he's simultaneously mad at the servants because they didn't refurbish the castle, and he's mad at Maxie because she wasn't there for 3 years to take care of the castle.
Yes. But they still go upstairs and do it, so it's fine. Okay, I can kind of see where you don't like this book.
I still like it.
Anyways. So,
I'm just the chaos gremlin in the corner.
I'm just waiting for me to really hate a fucking book, and you're just like, I fucking loved it! Because I feel like that's the best conversation piece.
Yeah.
So he gets summoned by the king. Repton leaves again with a couple of his people, and there's only really one thing that really happens when he leaves and comes back. And of course, he's the knight in shining armor. So someone comes to the castle.
Yeah, because there's 3 chapters of her figuring out money and refurbishing the castle.
Yes, which, by the way, their money system is really complicated.
It's converting from metric to our fucking system.
I feel like it's so much worse. I'm actually gonna, so it's kind of like Japanese money, where you have coins, and then you have, well, they didn't have paper, but you just have different types of coins. And then you think, well, one lord printed this coin, and it's worth this much of the regular coins, and I'm like, oh my god, you need a freaking weight to even do freaking money here?
Yeah.
You have to, some of them are worth some, and the gold ones have to be weighted. I was confused with the weighting system. So
yeah.
I do not feel bad.
Ruth helps her with this
Yes.
whole thing.
God love Ruth. I love Ruth.
I love Ruth too. He's the sassy one in the library. So of course.
I mean, yes, he's a wizard and he sleeps in the library. That's just where he sleeps.
Of course he's my favorite character.
Yes, he's a very nice character. He's good looking too. Anyways, that's not the point. Which Rifton kind of gets mad about because he thinks that, they're...
Yeah.
He's a jealous boy! So it comes down to. So there's this... So when Rifton's gone from the castle, there's I forget if it's a lord.
It's a lord from another kingdom. It's the son of a lord or something like that.
Yeah, son of a lord, and he's trying to get entrance to the castle. Well, Maxine is advised by, the servants and stuff like that, don't let him in if he doesn't have papers to show who he claims he is. Because he has 20 or 30 men with him.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, we just came to say hi. Or some shit.
And she's told she has to deal with this because Rifton's gone.
Yes, Rifton's still gone from the castle. And so, of course, she's stuttering through it, and of course, this is what I hate. He's kind of a dick and like, can you get someone that actually can speak English?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Anyways, I just hate when people pick out other people. Anyways, so he's like, oh, sorry, I lost us in transit. And so she's like, no, I can't let you in. And he's like, you would deny a lord? Like,
Yeah.
okay, there's some more stuff. And which makes it more suspicious that you're not a fucking lord, right away. So, Riften shows up and saves the day, really. He's like, who the fuck are you?
Kind of. He shows up and he gets mad again because Maxie is actually doing what she's fucking told, and she's trying to help the kingdom not have fucking weirdos in it. And Riften's mad because she's there.
Because she got injured. There was one little scratch somewhere.
But still, like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have her run the, like, place while you're gone and then get mad when she's doing it.
I'm sorry, it's hilarious, though. Because I didn't get that. I'm just like, oh, he's jealous again. It's so sweet.
Why are you mad at her? There's no reason.
See, I kind of felt like that with the wizards. Like when she became like learning to become magic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why is he still upright? Like he's like, fuck no, I don't want you to learn magic. Like I'm like, why though?
Yeah,
that was the only one I was like, bro, like fuck off.
Me this whole book. I'm like, why are you here?
Just fuck off and let Ruth be.
Exactly. Just let him be. Just let him learn magic. Let him convert coins. Let her build up her self-esteem.
Yes, I think Ruth does do a lot of that. He like builds her up and Riften just tears her down. I see that, okay? I see it. I'm just choosing to ignore it, okay? I'm ignoring the red flags, alright? Just let it be.
I am not ignoring that.
Okay. Rachel's not ignoring the red flags, guys. She would dump this motherfucker, okay? Just to let you know.
For sure.
Okay.
1000%. I'm like, no, bye. Bye, bro.
I would have thought they would at least have a conversation by this point.
Yes.
Because the book is really actually like a short time span where I think it only covers like a couple months. Is that
yeah.
Is that what you get to?
Okay. And also 60% into the book, he's just finally asking her about herself. Like we've boned 12 times, but we don't know nothing about each
Did
other.
you actually count, or is that just a number you threw out?
That's a number I threw out.
Okay.
There's 11 chapters, so they did it 11 times at least.
Well, there's some nights they did it like throughout the whole night, though. Are you counting that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. Anyways. So I guess Riften shows up, and he puts everyone in jail. And come to find out, he is a lord, but he's like so like not known. It doesn't fucking matter. Like he's just
Gone.
Yeah. So
Was Riften gone? Was the werewolf attack before? No, it was after. Never mind. Go on.
Okay. So he's back, and yes, he's angry again because she got injured, and he's like, I'm gonna kill every fucking man. No, I think his words were, I'm going to get, for every scratch, I will take a head.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh. I was like, yes! Finally!
Like, listen, I'm okay. If she's injured, go on your vengeance.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. Just don't be mad at her for doing something that she's supposed to do.
I guess I got the feeling where he was more of like, I just didn't want you to put yourself in risk.
Yeah, but who else is gonna do it?
Ruth? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So he comes back, and then he like has to go off again. Like he's like literally not there ever.
He comes back to the castle, he leaves. And that's all, and then he comes back to the castle, mad, leaves. The whole book.
Yes. That's pretty accurate, by the way. Yeah. I have nothing else to say about that, I'm sorry. So yeah, he leaves, and then I think that's the werewolf.
Yeah, because he tasked Ruth to make protection spells for
the gate. Because the gate got destroyed somehow with this situation. Probably ripped him. Destroyed the whole fucking gate. Like,
yeah.
He was probably, like, so mad, he was like, destroy the gate, I have to. And then, in the meantime, Ruth is kind of teaching her, obviously, learning the system, money system, and then right after this instance is when she starts really learning magic.
Yeah, because they're werewolf attack, and then she's sent for, well, somebody comes and says that she needs to send Ruth for one, and a bunch of other guards to help with injured people, and she goes, fuck it, I'm going to, because she wants to help.
Yeah, she wants to help. That's like literally her whole thing. She wants to feel useful because she still has kind of self-doubt about Riften leaving her, because they still haven't discussed the whole princess situation. Anyways. Sorry.
Yeah, they haven't discussed the whole princess situation. They've done it 12 times.
Rachel's really mad about them having sex, guys. It's fine. She's into it towards the end.
Not the point.
I mean, it's a little the point. You said consent. She's consenting. She just doesn't know how to consent.
Talk to your wife.
Yes.
Riften, just talk to your wife. That's all I need.
That is the takeaway from the book. Riften, talk to your motherfucking wife.
Like,
period.
I get it's arranged. You don't know each other. Cool.
Yeah.
Talk to each other. Get to know each other. Don't ask 70% into the book what she likes and dislikes. And when she says, oh, I don't like myself, then he just says something stupid and then they do it. Like, he doesn't even delve into that.
I mean, what do you say to that?
Like, I don't know. Have an honest conversation about why she doesn't like herself.
I mean, they do after they have sex again. He's just trying to show her what he likes about her. I don't know. Don't take that to heart.
And it's the ass, though.
Okay, so we're back to werewolves, guys. So the werewolves come over the fucking top of the castle. I mean, it's not surrounded, from my understanding, is it?
I don't think so, but
okay.
They come over a wall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I felt like they came over a wall, but I think it's all encapsulated, but it's on a fucking peninsula, so I don't understand where they're coming from. Now that I think about that, I didn't think about that when I read it. I was just like, yeah, the werewolves coming over the... Where the fuck are they coming? Because there's only one space that they can come from.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but we got werewolves.
They're swimming werewolves, because that's the only fucking thing that makes sense. Anyways. So yes, I think there's a lot of people, I think it's more of just people that live in the kingdom that got injured. I think they actually had to send 15 or so to another healer, because in this world, magic is drawn from mana, which is typical for most, I would say fantasy. Or
depends on magic system, but yeah.
Okay.
I get the whole concept of this magic system.
And so Ruth can only heal, like, the most injured. So the people that have, like, fevers from, like, onset infection already, they send to another healer.
Yes.
So, and then this is kind of where Maxie is, like, doesn't know what to do, and she's like, what?
Yeah, and then previously they found out that she can channel magic.
She has an affinity for it.
Because Ruth was healing the tree that she was going to cut down, the oak tree in the title.
Yes, I wish there was more to that, because in the webtoon it is very important. Structure, obviously, fuckingly, because anyways.
It's not very important in this book, in this version.
Yes, it's not very important in this one. There's an oak tree, guys, and it's half dead, okay?
And they're bringing it back to life, or they're cursed for cutting it down or something.
Yeah, they don't, they're very superstitious superstitious, so they think cutting down the tree will anger some kind of gods.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Ruth finds out that she has some kind of affinity for mana. And so she's trying to heal. Not really. She's not trying to heal at this point. She actually takes care of the injured old school way. I guess would be the best way to do it.
With herbs and stuff.
Yeah, so there's like a cauterizing powder she puts on it, and then soaks bandages in alcohol, because of that time period that's the only thing that was sterile, and then wrap them.
But in that time period, they don't really care. They didn't really care about germs. They didn't care about shit.
No.
They didn't wash their hands. They didn't use gloves. You know?
Because this is what grossed me out completely. So obviously she's helping him, and then she helps Ruth like suture up some things by just basically, here, I got you. What do you need from me? I'll be here. I can't do that though. But then that's where the bloods or the alcohol soaked bandages come into play. And Ruth is like, yeah, this is from the South. It's really well known for its, no one can tell you why it works, but it works. And then it talks about, how they used to use dog urine. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you use that for what? Like, any kind of medical situation, I would not use urine. Don't, please. But I'm just like, I what the fuck were they doing back then?
They were just doing what they wanted.
I mean, did they think that was...
They have no idea what germs were. They didn't wash their hands. They didn't take baths. They thought if you took a bath, you would die of some kind of disease. So everybody's stinky.
Well, not the two main characters. They take baths a lot, man.
I mean, yeah. They do.
Just so, and then Redson actually doesn't get mad about that because he doesn't know about it.
Yeah, he doesn't know about it. He wasn't there.
Yeah, he wasn't there. Didn't happen. So then she starts learning under Ruth, and then Riften comes back from his... I think he was on some kind of...
He was killing monsters. I
was going to say, he was killing goblins. Because, they fuck like rabbits. And if you leave them alone too long, they overtake everything. Goblins are fucking the worst kind of fucking villain. Like, I hate them. Anyways, I digress. So, what happens when Riften comes back this time? Because that's close to the end, right? Because he doesn't leave again.
No. It's goblins. I know he probably got mad about something. It wasn't a magic thing yet, though.
Yeah, it was.
So did he find out?
Yeah, he came back, and then
he finds out that she's doing magic.
Yeah, that's when he.
No, he came back. He got mad because Ruth and Maxie were always in the library.
Oh.
And he said that he wanted, when he's there, he wants all of her attention.
Yes. And then they find out. He finds out that they're doing magic. And he blows a fucking gasket and leaves. Like, runs off. And by the way, it's like really cold weather too, so... he's strong. That's all I got. He can survive any kind of weather.
Baby and overdramatic, but he's strong.
I mean, yes. He's also that. So yeah, he gets mad.
He gets mad. He leaves.
He leaves.
He comes back. They do it.
Yes. And then she thinks he's still kind of mad at her, so she's like, okay, I won't do magic. And he's like, I want you to be happy, but
And the whole reason she's doing magic is to help the kingdom and help people, like, heal when they have...
But he doesn't want her to have to do anything, because I think in his mind, because he's kind of mentioned it a lot, or at least said it a lot. Basically, he was like, I don't want you to do anything. I know you left a luxurious castle, because he thinks she is a noble woman, but...
Yeah, but they don't talk, so she doesn't know how she actually lives.
Yes, it's true. But he thinks she gave up a lot to be with him, and he really, really likes her, I guess.
I don't don't know. I just, like, from her perspective, like, she came in, she's very shy.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't know what to do. She's doing her best to fucking redo the castle. And then she's finding her place in this world.
Yeah, when Riften's gone for, where the fuck he's gone.
And then when Riften comes back, he's pissed because she's trying to do something for the good of everybody.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, she doesn't just want to sit there with her cats that she gets.
I know, that was so sweet. It's so cute. Yeah.
And her white horse.
Yeah, he did give her a white horse.
And a lot of gifts.
Yeah, I mean, see, he loves her.
He doesn't know her. But, okay. I mean, I think you'd get to the bottom of why your wife said she didn't like herself, but, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of just glossed over. Yeah. I wish there was more on that, because he does go to it and ask, like, why do you hate yourself? And she gives him, I can't remember the answer she gives him.
It was kind of a bullshit answer, though.
Yeah, it was just like, just because I do. Like, fucking talk to him! Communication!
Yes! This is my whole communicate!
Yes.
This is my whole problem with this book. Nobody talks to nobody. She only talks to Ruth, who knows all of her problems.
Well, they suspect.
And then he's kind of helping.
Yeah, he's kind of. He's kind of like a smart aleck anyways. I love his attitude. He doesn't give a fuck who you are. He's just like, says it like it is.
Yeah.
Which is another great character trait. But yeah, I think Riften is trying his best, but I think he realizes something, because like every time she like flinches away or like cowers or like lowers her head, he like backs off of his tone of voice, so he knows. I feel like he knows something, but he doesn't know what.
He just doesn't take the time to talk to her. Like,
communication. I got that, Rachel.
Communicate. Talk to your wife. Just talk to your wife. That's all I want. I don't need another sex scene. I just need you two to sit down somewhere and just talk to each other.
I like the sex scenes. Thank you. But yes, no, I totally get why you have problems with this novel. And would you read the second one if it came out?
Probably, because this one didn't have an end.
It
this
did
one
not.
just goes, yeah, we're over. This is the end of this volume.
I think they are releasing a second novel version of this, which I'm definitely going to pick up. Just because I've read the webtoon and it does go past this. So I know stuff that would make sense to that line, but I'm not going to talk about it if they're going to make the second one.
Yeah.
And we might actually, read it on the, podcast here. But I'm going to keep that to myself. And I think that's probably the reason why I like Riften so much, just because I know a little bit more past this.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Like, if he gets better and they start talking, cool. I did like her, and I liked her growth, because
yes.
I did see that she was going past, like,
I think she broke
getting
out
over her dad.
Yeah.
Over her dad's stuff, and she's trying to work on her stutter, too. Like, Ruth finally is like, if you don't talk, then you're still going to have a stutter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which language you know how to read or
I
talk.
thought that was so cute. So when Ruth is kind of showing Maxie how to use power, or, I'm sorry, magic. Sorry, power, magic, whatever. Mana. He takes her to the night yard. And he's like, well, the whole reason she got into this is because she wanted to be able to do simple healing. To take some, she felt like it would make her useful for the kingdom. Riften would see her as useful. I think that's where her train of thought was going.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're all kind of like, oh, we're not injured. I love it, because they're like, I don't want to be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And the one person they get is like the one knight that fucking hates her so bad. He's very vocal on his like disdain for her.
And he swore fealty to the princess.
Yes.
It's not called that, but that's what it is.
Yes, yeah. They were friends, I guess, and since Riften decided not to marry the princess, he specifically said, no, I'm already married, kind of thing.
I mean, that is one point for Riften where he's like, he didn't say just like, fuck Maxie. He's like, no, I'm married. I'm going to stick with her.
Yeah. I thought that was really like, I guess I just felt like he had like an affinity to her anyways. So some things are said from the one night that really had loyalty and was kind of mad about Maxine's dad and kind of how they had to go off to war because he was one of the knights that went with Riften. And so some bad feelings. He says some shit, and Riften's like, "You talking to my wife like that?" Like, then he like chokes him, and I'm just like, "Oh, he's different." I know you have a different feel, but I was like, "Fuck yes, Riften, yes."
I'm fine with him being protective.
Yeah, I know.
I am fine with like him wanting to protect her, but I just need him to realize that everything that she's doing that pisses him off is to help the kingdom, their area.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I do not disagree with you on that. I just thought it was a nice kind of growth for the knights, because after that scene, she goes and heals, like, the kitchen boy. Like, because there's the one that's a klutz, like, so klutzy. He's like, well, he does something every day, so go check on him. And so she heals him, and then kind of the knights are like, after that scene, the knights come and like, hey, I got injured, you want to heal me?
Yeah.
And that was their way of like making it up for the one guy that kind of was like, fuck you. Like,
yeah.
Like they swore loyalty to Maxine, but I felt like they were trying to make it up to her based on the one night's like, hey, we don't all feel this way, we kind of see what you're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really nice character growth, that you see like, oh yeah, people actually do like Maxine, like, because you only get her point of view, so you can only see what she thinks she sees.
Yeah. And she has very low self-esteem.
Yeah,
so she thinks everybody hates her.
Very low self-esteem, which, I mean, can you blame her?
I can't.
Like,
it is definitely not her fault that she
No.
has self-esteem issues.
no.
I'm glad that it showed her from the start and then, like, the growth.
Yes. Yeah, because it's kind of, as you read throughout, you kind of see she only gets more stuttery when she's, like, really nervous or, like, anxious, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be the best thing. But you kind of don't notice it, or at least I didn't, there towards the end, because it really wasn't that bad.
No.
Like, I think it was already making progress, and then she goes to Ruth and was like, can you heal me?
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't heal deformities, sorry.
Even though it's not a deformity, but
No.
whatever.
Yeah, it's a type, yeah. And so he's like, well, try this and try that. And so she does it, and like, this is what pisses me off. She doesn't want to seem weak in front of her, like, her people. And so she's just like, I'll talk to myself in private. It's like, that's the...
Well, it's still a step to get
I know,
her to...
it's a step, but I'm just like, no one sees you weak. I mean, you are weak, but that's not the point.
She's getting better.
Yeah, like, people are seeing that she's trying, especially with, like, healing, like, small injuries from the servants and stuff, which I feel like is always a great step in the right direction, because you treat your servants how you... I don't know. I just feel like if you're good to your servants, then you're a good person. Because in most of these books, if you treat the servants like shit, you're a fucking shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no question about that. So, that's just, beside the point.
I just feel like Riften should have been the one that's, like, kind of helping her along and bringing her out of her shell, and maybe, like, hey, you had an interest in this, so let's go towards that, instead of, like, I'm pissed because you're actually doing something.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I don't disagree with you. I don't have any other things I can say, but like, yes, Riften's amazing, like the OG. I can't, because you're right. You don't see his point of view and don't see his thoughts, which I really wanted, but...
And maybe if you saw his thoughts, you would get where he was coming from a little bit better, but from her perspective,
he's just not, he's absent so much of the book. You're just like, oh, when they're together, yeah, it's the sex scene.
Yeah, and when he's absent is when all the fantasy stuff happens.
That is true.
Like, he's going off to fight goblins. He went and fought a dragon. Like, werewolves come over the thing. Like, all the fantasy stuff happens when he's not there. So you don't see half of the fantasy stuff.
Yeah, that's true too, yeah. You see some magic, kind of. There's just not... Yeah, you're right. I was trying to think more... the fantasy I got more was just, like, more medieval, and I don't really consider that high fantasy. I mean, it's part of fantasy in some area, like, when it's not newer. Because you always have, like, a castle, you always have knights, so I can kind of see, you know, the thought process behind it. Which was really interesting. But I think that... Anything else you want to talk about the book?
I don't think so.
Really,
it's pretty.
Straight edges. From a quote from the book that Riften says, if you want to know, it says, because I think it's cute, the first moment I saw you, I knew you would ruin me.
And they didn't talk about that. Like,
no,
he says pretty things, but they're not like...
I know, they're
getting
not...
to...
Yes, and I think it's just opening up. I feel like getting her out of her shell is his main, like... I would say main goal, but he's doing it terribly. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's, like, trying to win her over with gifts, and that's just not who she is, because he doesn't fucking know her.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say too much, because I don't want to ruin it, but it was great. So, okay. Now that we know that this is just, like, kind of like a part 1.
Yeah, because it doesn't have an ending. If you want a... full book, this is not it. You're getting,
or you gotta wait for the second one.
It just ends.
Yes. There's gonna be a second book. I did look it up. So there's that. But I don't know if it'll end there. But I do know that this webtoon has an ending. Don't know if we'll see that in
novel form.
I'm hoping, because I would really like to, but we'll see how it goes. It's like really one of the most popular webtoons that turned into a whole bunch of different other media, which I find amazing, because this was only a webtoon. This was only ever a webtoon. And then it got so popular that they created the graphic novel, which is basically just the webtoon in printed form.
Yeah.
Because it's colored on the webtoon, like on the computer. So, and then they made the novel version. I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't get what I wanted. I wanted more. I wanted more point of view from Riften, and maybe Ruth.
But yeah,
I mean, Ruth is pretty self-explanatory. He's
just chilling in the library learning things.
Yes, which is dream goals here.
I mean, I'll chill in the library 24/7. Don't care.
Yes, that's the dream, right? I mean, you're kind of technically doing it.
I mean, technically, yeah, my book collection is considered a library, so but I still have to go to work.
I mean, yeah. Anyways. So what was your rating since?
My rating is a 2.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
So, the reason I gave it a 2,
okay,
I like Maxie, I like Ruth, I liked her growth.
Okay.
It's a 2 because Riften.
Okay.
So, there are good things in this novel, I guess. What? Yeah. Part of a novel?
Yes.
Half of a novel.
Novel part 1.
Yeah.
Volume 1, technically.
But it just, Riften, the communication is my issue.
No, I get it. I understand. Which is kind of funny, because when I was reading this, I felt like that in the beginning, but then I guess I felt like I kind of knew more of what Riften was, like, feeling and stuff. I don't know. I guess I just felt like I just made my own backstory for him, apparently. Yeah. And I was like, yes, this is great!
And you have more of a perspective because you did read the webtoon, so you know
it's
more.
It's pretty spot on, honestly. I just read a little bit more than what was out, and it has the same thing as books or manga in general, where you just, like, only so much is translated, so you gotta wait.
Yeah.
And that's when I stopped reading. I read up until, wherever. Obviously, because I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
And then I stopped reading, and to read webtoons now is harder because more of the websites are, like, if you read it, then there's a ton of ads.
Yeah.
Or it's just really not safe to read. Like, you know what I mean? Like, websites are like, hey, you can read it free here, but then it's like, every time you click the next, it pops up another, like, actual web browser, and I'm like, no, this does not feel safe.
No.
Like, and that's my only bad issue with that. That's why I was really excited that most of them are coming to physical form, because I really did like reading them.
Yeah.
They're just Americanized, so they read different than manga, which is hard. That's my number one complaint. Sorry, guys.
And also, the issue with Riften might be translation issues.
Okay.
Like, there might be something in Korean where we're not getting it in
That could be
the
too.
English version.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
yeah, I mean, I don't know, because I don't know Korean.
I don't know Korean either.
So, I mean, that is a very good point. This is all translated. You're right.
So,
Well,
it stands
lost
at
in
2.
translation. Okay. Do you want to do magic rating, or do you want me to do my rating?
So, I can do my magic rating.
Okay.
Because it's going to be a 1. It's like,
Okay.
there is almost nothing. There's, like, creatures in this, but there's not
Yes.
a lot.
Yeah.
Then, like, at the end, she gets more of the magic. And then it might be that volume 2 will have more of the fantasy elements.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So, my overall rating was a 4. Obviously rereadable because I read it twice now. Obviously I liked it. I get your frustration with the book. Totally understandable. I just still liked it, I guess. I mean, I really don't. I guess I just felt like I knew what Riften was doing. Like, he just wanted her to be, not like a doll, basically, but that's what he wanted. He wanted to give her the life.
Yeah.
Even though it still requires work. Communication. It's fine. And then the magic rating, I gave it a 2.5, just because I felt like there's some magic, and as the book progresses, you get more of the element, at least from Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't use magic for everyday use, so that's why I scored it so low.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're in winter, why aren't you using magic to heat things? Like, it wasn't that high of magic.
It just wasn't very prominent in the novel.
Yes. Very, yeah. So, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. I hope you guys like it. I hope you read it. Very mixed reviews on here.
Just to know there's communication issues.
I didn't mind the communication issues because sometimes communication is not needed. They just have sex. It's fine.
Yeah, they just do it a lot.
That's Riften's love language. Sorry, that was funny. That was hilarious. Anyways, so next week's is our horror pick,
Yes.
which is
It's behind you if you want to grab it.
Curse Covenus?
Corvus? I don't know.
I'm bad with English. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's by Alex Epstein?
Yep. We're going to go with that.
Yeah, we're going with that. So it's a shorter one, just because this one was pretty long, and then our next one after that's a long one. So
we have 4 other books for our bonus episode.
Yeah.
So, Madison Kate series.
Yes. Woo! It's a reread for both of us, which is funny. So it shouldn't take us too long, but
I've already started it again.
I'm already behind, guys. I will read it in the week.
I haven't got that far into the first one, but I have started the first one again.
You're putting me to shame, Rachel.
I love Steel.
Save that for the episode, okay?
I will.
All right. Well, I hope we see you next time. So, See ya.
Bye. As we make all the noise.